The day dawned serene and luminous over our tranquil suburban enclave. My 10-year-old daughter, Emily, ventured outside in her wheelchair, her service dog, Buddy, faithfully by her side. Her laughter resonated, a melody that had the power to uplift even the weariest of souls. As her father, Judge Samuel Bennett, I observed from the porch, my heart swelling with pride and affection. "Emily is my world," I murmured, my voice laden with emotion. "She's braved challenges no child should ever face, yet her joy remains unyielding." She tossed a ball for Buddy, her eyes twinkling with delight. For a fleeting moment, everything felt just right. Then, the tranquility shattered. Enter Mrs. Thornton, the Homeowners Association HOA president. Known for her domineering demeanor and perpetual dissatisfaction, today her ire was directed at the wheelchair ramp we had installed for Emily. To Mrs. Thornton, it was an unsightly blemish on the neighborhood's facade. "This ramp is an eyesore," she declared, clutching a can of motor oil. Her voice was sharp, cutting through the morning calm. "It needs to be removed immediately." I stepped forward, a sense of unease settling in. Mrs. Thornton's gaze bore into Emily, dismissing her innocence and the necessity of the ramp. "I'm marking it for removal," she announced. Before I could intervene, she tipped the can, and thick, black oil cascaded over Emily. It drenched her clothes, matted her hair, and smeared her wheelchair. Emily's piercing scream tore through the air, a sound that seared my very soul. Buddy barked furiously, while neighbors emerged from their homes, their faces etched with shock. I rushed to Emily, my heart pounding. Oil dripped from her trembling frame as she sobbed, "Daddy, why does she hate me?" My throat tightened, words eluding me. How could I explain such unwarranted malice to my precious child? I felt an overwhelming sense of failure, the oil on my hands a tangible reminder of my inability to shield her. Mrs. Thornton stood unmoved, a smug expression playing on her lips. Oblivious to my profession as a federal judge, she muttered, "Rules are rules," before turning on her heel and walking away. Rage simmered within me, but Emily's needs took precedence. I held her close, whispering assurances I wasn't sure I believed. "It's okay, sweetheart," I murmured, my voice betraying my own uncertainty. Neighbors gathered, some recording the incident. By evening, the footage had permeated social media. The hashtags #JusticeForEmily and #EndTheHate gained momentum as strangers expressed their outrage and support. At home, my wife, Laura, tended to Emily with gentle care. "She has minor burns," Laura noted, her voice tight with concern. Clad in my judicial robes, I stared into the mirror that night, a vow solidifying within me. No one harms my daughter without consequence. Days later, Mrs. Thornton entered the HOA meeting with her usual arrogance. "That child is a nuisance," she proclaimed. "The oil spill was accidental. I was merely marking that unsightly ramp." Gasps echoed. Neighbors voiced their dissent, but Mrs. Thornton remained defiant. Though I wasn't present, accounts of her audacity fueled my resolve. Quietly, I compiled evidence, the video, witness testimonies, even remnants of oil from Emily's wheelchair. Each piece strengthened the case against her. At home, the emotional scars were evident. Emily sat by the window, her spirit dampened. "I don't want to go outside, Daddy," she confided, fear lacing her words. Kneeling beside her, I gently brushed her hair back. "Sometimes justice takes time, but it always prevails. I promise." That night, I initiated legal proceedings. Laura, observing my determination, voiced her apprehension. "Will this truly help her heal?" Pausing, I responded, "It won't erase the pain, but it will ensure accountability." The community rallied around us. Flowers and notes adorned our doorstep, symbols of solidarity. Mrs. Thornton believed she was untouchable, but the law is impartial. Months later, the courtroom buzzed with anticipation. I sat among the spectators, a father seeking justice. Mrs. Thornton entered, her demeanor unchanged. She pleaded not guilty to charges of assault and property damage. The prosecution presented the damning video. Emily's anguished cries in the deliberate act of pouring oil played on the screen. The courtroom reacted viscerally, some covered their mouths in horror. Emily, unable to attend, provided her testimony via video. Her pale face filled the screen. "I just wanted to play outside," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't do anything wrong." The judge's stern expression hardened. Neighbors testified, recounting Mrs. Thornton's history of intimidation. The evidence was overwhelming. In a moment of unrestrained frustration, Mrs. Thornton exclaimed, "They're all against me." The judge's gavel struck. "Guilty on all counts," she pronounced. "You were sentenced to 6 months in jail and fined $50,000 to cover medical expenses and a new wheelchair." Mrs. Thornton's facade crumbled. As she was led away, her protest fell on deaf ears. Stepping outside the courthouse, a mix of relief and sorrow washed over me. Justice had been served, but the emotional wounds remained. Days later, a new wheelchair arrived for Emily, funded by the imposed fine. Laura ran her fingers over it, a hopeful smile gracing her lips. She'll love this. The community's support didn't wane. Neighbors collaborated to build a sturdy, beautifully crafted ramp, painted in Emily's favorite shade of blue. Laughter and camaraderie filled the air as they worked. That weekend, Emily and I planted a garden beside the ramp. As we nestled sunflower seeds into the earth, she looked up at me. They'll grow tall, right? Just like you, I replied, my heart swelling with hope. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over our renewed home. Buddy played nearby, and for the first time in a long while, peace enveloped us. Reflecting on the journey, I realized the profound lessons learned. Emily's resilience had been a beacon of strength. The law had upheld justice, serving as a shield when I couldn't be one. As night descended, Emily leaned into me, contentment evident. The new ramp stood as a testament to a community's unity and the unwavering pursuit of justice. No one is above the law. Today, it stood firmly for my daughter. But just when we thought the worst had passed, a twist came like thunder on a clear day. It was a Tuesday afternoon, 3 weeks after the sentencing. Emily had finally started to go outside again, rolling down the new blue ramp with Buddy trotting close, his tongue lolling happily. Neighborhood kids waved and rode their bikes around her. Her laughter returned, timid at first, then stronger. We had begun to breathe again. Then came the knock. 3 sharp bangs on the front door. Laura opened it and froze. 2 men in cheap suits stood there, stone-faced. One held a briefcase. The other wore a badge. Not police. Private investigators. Good afternoon, ma'am. We're here on behalf of Mrs. Thornton. My stomach turned. She's appealing the verdict, one of them said smoothly, as if he were offering a cup of tea and not a slap in the face. Claiming the fine and sentence were excessive and emotionally motivated. She says your daughter exaggerated the injury for sympathy. Laura gasped. Emily, who had been nearby, heard every word. Her face drained of color. Buddy growled low, stepping in front of her. I stepped forward, my voice calm but ice cold. She poured oil on a disabled child. We have it on video. She smirked as my daughter screamed. The man nodded, not disagreeing, just doing his job. We're just here to deliver the notice. She wants a retrial. She's alleging misconduct. Misconduct. She was accusing me. The judge who recused himself from his own child's case. The one who didn't sit on the bench, who followed every rule, documented everything by the book. She's not finished, I muttered. Emily rolled backwards, her eyes wide, scared again. Later that night, Laura found me in the garage, gripping the edge of my workbench, my knuckles white. She's trying to erase what she did, I said quietly. In this system, it might let her. Laura touched my arm. Then we fight again. Harder. The next morning, I called everyone, my attorney friends, the ethics board, civil rights groups, even the Department of Justice. I wasn't just Samuel Bennett, father anymore. I was Samuel Bennett, federal judge, and I knew the power of precedent, media, and momentum. The story reignited. Hashtag Justice for Emily trended again. Civil rights lawyers filed amicus briefs. A powerful disability advocacy group launched a counter-campaign. But Karen Thornton, she wasn't done. 2 nights before the appellate hearing, someone egged our house. Then our mailbox disappeared. Emily's garden was trampled, sunflowers bent, broken, uprooted. We had security footage. It was her son. In the next video, Buddy barked frantically as a shadowy figure tried to climb onto our porch. We called the police. But Thornton's lawyer filed a motion the next morning to claim we were harassing her. The courtroom filled again. Cameras, reporters, even a documentary crew showed up now. This time, I wasn't sitting quietly in the back. This time, I testified. I described the night Emily came into this world 2 months early and fought in NICU for 32 days. I described every therapy, every surgery, every step she worked so hard for. I told the courtroom what it was like to kneel on the ground and wipe oil from your daughter's eyelashes as she screamed, not understanding why someone hated her. The judge listened. She saw the footage again. She saw the new footage. And she listened to Emily, now braver, stronger, who stood, not on legs, but on truth. I just want to feel safe again, she said. I don't want to be scared to go outside. I didn't ask to be in a wheelchair, but I deserve to live here too. The courtroom was silent. Even Karen's lawyer put his pen down. The judge leaned forward. Mrs. Thornton's appeal is not only denied, it is deemed frivolous. And in light of her continued harassment, this court is issuing a permanent restraining order and an additional $75,000 in punitive damages. Karen gasped, finally realizing she'd pushed too far. She was let out again. This time, she didn't scream. This time, she cried. And the courthouse clapped, not because we hated her, but because justice had spoken louder than cruelty. Emily turned to me and whispered, "Did we win again?" I smiled, heart full. "No, baby. We didn't win again. This time we ended it."